guys, welcome to a new vlog. It is Monday and you're probably like, why isn't she dressed up? Is she sick again? No, I'm not, I'm fine. But my birthday is tomorrow and the video that is only the last week of July video is my birthday haul. So, you know, obviously I haven't opened my gifts yet. So that's gonna come tomorrow. But I'm filming tomorrow. It's gonna be a very busy day, so I'm not really working today, which is nice. But I want to go over the weekly TBR. So the quote of the week is, "I don't know what lies around the bend, but I'm going to believe the best does." And it's from Ellen Montgomery. And that's such a great outlook at life too. We have no idea what's gonna come, but let's just hope that it's the best and assume that it's going to be the best. Now here are the books. So the book that's the main focus, so as I said, we're in like the last week of the month and I have, you know, finished my, no, I haven't finished the mood read. I have finished my mood read and I finished my essay collection. So if I finish that with less than like 15 days into the month, if I finish in the second half of the month, you know, less than 15 days, I won't start my next one until the first of the next month, so I won't start those until August 1st. I do know what they're going to be and I will show y'all, but I'm not going to go in depth until next week's vlog. So the main focus of this vlog is the Chalice and The Blade, Our History, Our Future by Ryan Eisler. This is my nonfiction pick of July, trying to get it to stand up straight there. This one is a work of feminist nonfiction, and basically the first humans thousands of years ago lived in, I always forget the word, but everybody was equal. Men and women were equal, and usually in those societies there's not as much violence, there's not as much war. Now that's not to say they were perfect, there still were issues and everything, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't as bloody and it wasn't as much as a society that is, you know, dominated by, typically in history it has been patriarchies, but, you know, so don't think this is, I thought it was going in saying that the society had been matriarchal societies. Some of them were, but most were, you know, everybody was equal. Now this changed about 4,000 BC, so that's 6,000 years ago. You had these outsiders come in and they, so, hold on, flashback, y'all can't see my Venus figure, can I reach her? No. So a lot of those societies that were equal, that had the partnership model, they had the female mother goddess, who, they weren't monotheistic, but they weren't polytheistic either. It was really, it was that one mother, but she could take on different roles, essentially. Like with Christianity, you have God the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit, how that's all, you know, one and the same, but takes on different roles. So that's how it was. And again, not every single society. This is mainly focusing on Europe, Asia, and for Asia, basically going to India, not past that. And then Northern Africa is where this is mainly focusing on, to let y'all know. So I would be curious to know about some other parts of the world, but this book was published over like 35 years ago, so obviously, you know, it's only developing and researching. The author has done other books since then, but they mainly had that religion of just that mother goddess. Now, as I was saying, about 4,000 BC, we had these people, men, society, patriarchal groups that were kind of like outsiders to society. They came from the far north, and in the Middle East, they came from the southern deserts and came with a lot of violence. They were ones who had gods who were your war gods with the thunderbolts, that kind of thing, and brought violence, attacking these other more peaceful societies. And that is where we have that turn of the world predominantly becoming patriarchal. Now, where I'm currently at, we're talking about the early days of Christianity and the Roman Empire. And this book has really shown how religion has evolved from the start to where we are now. But then my ebook pick is The Edge of Eternity by Ken Follett, book 3 of the Century Trilogy. And I think we're about to get into Vietnam. We're going to the jungle. We just had a character get conscripted, I think is the word. And I was honestly shocked that if you, at least back then in 1966, If you are somebody who's from another country but working in the United States, you have a working visa, so therefore you're residing in the United States, but it really isn't your permanent residence, you can still be drafted if like a war breaks out. You were not born in the United States, you're simply just working here. You can be drafted to war. So that made me be like, maybe I don't want to immigrate to another country, which realistically I wouldn't, but yeah, that was crazy. So that's what's happening there. And then the books that I will start on August 1st, which will not be in this vlog, but just to let y'all know, I will be reading these books this week, but not in the vlog. My morning essay collection will be Misbehaving at the Crossroads by Honor Fannin Jeffers, she wrote my all-time favorite book, The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois, and she is just one of my favorite authors. So I cannot wait to start that. That's her new release. Next we have my mood read, which is Madam by Phoebe Wynn. I think I got this as a gift from my dad a few years ago. So this is a darkly feminist tale pitched against a haunting backdrop, populated by an electrifying cast of heroines. Madam will keep readers engrossed until the breathtaking conclusion. So a thriller. And then this one is about like being a Black woman, I'm pretty sure, and what it is like, or what it is like to be a Black woman in America. So yes, it says a thought-provoking work that explores the journeys and possibilities of Black women throughout American history and today. So those are the books that I am going to be focusing on this week. Again, this is our main focus right now, and I am loving it. I do think this will be a 4-star read, and that is all the books that we're reading this week. I got to chapter 12 in the Chalice and the Blade. Okay, one thing that I didn't make, note of reading, but just to say out loud so I remember, I'm definitely glad that I am reading this on my Kindle, because there will be like some words and terms where I'm like, what does this mean? And on a Kindle, you can just hold down that word and the definition comes up, and that is so helpful. So I definitely do recommend picking this up on the Kindle or having a dictionary nearby if you want to be a little old-fashioned, like when this book was published in 1987. Main takeaway today. So as I told y'all, this book, it seems to be going the evolution of religion, also the evolution of how women have been viewed by society. But one of the things is the author is talking about how we started this era that we're in now during the Enlightenment, and that is what we are currently in, which I can see that. But also another thing that was talked about is that at different points in time when women have, seemingly got rights, are on the way to being equal to men. We can think Elizabethan England. There are just a lot of I can't say that word. A lot of Southern people can't say that word. But like with Shakespeare, with some of his female characters, and but then shortly after the Elizabethan period, we had the Puritan times. We have witch burnings, that happening. So it has me thinking too now that if we think back to the 20th century, we have women get the rights to vote. Women can have a credit card, they can have a bank account, they can drive a car, and just different rights that women gained in the last century. And it talks about with like Vietnam, that is when a lot of men were going against the norm, growing their hair out long, dressing different than what is the norm. And we see all of that, but now I feel like a lot of that's being reverted. How I was just saying with Elizabethan, then going into Puritan. So we have all that in the 20th century, but now we have, hold on, Fred's mad. Men, I'm telling y'all, men. He does not like a closed door. There you go. He's probably also telling me I had stuff on my teeth because when I drink my vitamins, the green vitamins, it does that. But how I was saying, how it seems when we go up to get an equal, things do descend. So with this, how I'm saying, a lot of those rights are being reverted. One, the DEI stuff, which that one just came to mind, to body autonomy, when women are brain dead but still pregnant and they won't let you pull the plug, and then the other abusers, not getting justice. I'm thinking Diddy, I'm thinking of a few others, but yeah, so it just seems like women's rights being thrown out the door once again, and it's just a cycle that happens in history. So I read 56 pages today, and that was my main takeaway, was the cycle thing. But I do want to just go over some of the notes. So I told y'all earlier about the early days of Christianity, and it made me glad that seeing the early works of Jesus are very similar to what I believe in Christianity and in religion, like what I consider myself in religion. Because I think once the church happened, that is when things got crazy. A lot of stuff was being hidden, certain agendas were being pushed, and I just don't think it's what Jesus was teaching in the purest form, where everybody is equal, no violence, no judgment, like humans judging one another, like that kind of thing. And it just made me be like, I felt relieved. But I do think everybody, I'm not just saying with Christianity, but in every religion, I think you just have your own thing. Now, it is great to make relationships with people, you know, who have the same beliefs as you. I do think that is nice. That's awesome. Also, you should have relationships with people who don't have the same beliefs in you, just to expand your worldview. But sorry for the filler words. Religion is only just such a sticky thing to talk about, but I do think everybody just has their different view of religion. They have their own relationship with the religion, and I think that's important. But with the notes of that I had, but for men who are now everywhere using Christianity to establish their rule, this is in medieval Europe, Christian life and Christian we'll just say ideas had to be made to fit into the androcratic mold, which is the patriarchy mold. And I think that can still be, people still do that today. They want to have this mold where certain people are in power and certain people are not in power. Then we have on the next page, and so ironically, Jesus' revolution of nonviolence, in the course of which he died on the cross, was converted into rule by force and terror. Literally, and it goes on to talk about the Crusades, which I think the Crusades, they had good intentions at first. They were like pilgrims and tourists were being attacked, but then people go crazy and they're like, we gotta kill everybody who's not like us. Like, why do y'all gotta do that? Then in this one, history as taught in most schools, it's largely a matter of struggle for power among men and nations. And that's so fascinating. Why is that a thing in history where we only focus on wars and all of that? Like, why? But there was another, particularly in the West, another reason for ideological explosion, or this ideological explosion. As religious ideas weakened in the wake of advancing industrialization, there is a great hunger, indeed almost a desperation, for new ways of perceiving, ordering, and valuing reality. In other words, for new ideas. I don't know why I can't say ideologies. Like, I add an extra L. I don't know what that's about. And then this is something that I thought was interesting. So Trumbuck, who was a writer, shows that the fact that the modern egalitarian family appeared earlier in England than it did on the continent may have been an important factor in explaining why England, unlike France, Russia, and Germany, did not have violent anti-monarchic upheavals in the 18th and 19th centuries. So I thought that was interesting. But that is all. I'm at 63% according to the Kindle, and I don't know if that's counting the notes and all that's in the back of the book, the bibliography. But yes, I am really enjoying this, and this has been so eye-opening. And yes, I would recommend it. Again, I don't know how dated it is at this point, but for some of the history, you know, so eye-opening. And there was some things I don't agree about. Like, she was talking about now in 1987, how like sex is everywhere, pornography is in books and TV, and like, yeah, it is, but I don't necessarily think that's demeaning to women. It has to be in whatever, you know, some of it can be, some of it's not, in my opinion. But that's a debate I see all the time. In the Bible Belt, people love the debate of like porn addictions, physical porn on like TV or whatever versus reading romance books. Yeah, I think anything in excess is bad personally, but yeah, that's not the debate that we're getting into here. Also, there was saying how like violence in the world with Ronald Reagan's America with Falwell, is that his name? Like the really religious guy, how like he was against all these equality rights. And I'm like, that is not what Jesus wanted. So like, what the F are you talking about? And then the Ayatollah, why am I blanking on that? But the guy in charge in Iran, when he was just going like back and forth on women's rights and just like executing people in public. It's insane. So yeah, F the patriarchy, as we say, but I believe in everybody being equal. No, I can't talk these words. I have to see it written out, I guess, because I just said it earlier, but everybody equal, that's what we want in the world, and not just having certain men on the top be important. But yes, so I'm gonna go have dinner. Yeah, that's the plan. Guys, I totally made a mistake. So I was supposed to still be reading in the Chalice and the Blade in the 9 o'clock hours since I'm not doing a mood read, but I already logged in my reading for the day. I already told y'all my thoughts on what I read, so I'm just going to read Edge of Eternity in the 9 o'clock hour and then right before I go to bed as well. So Edge of Eternity is just gonna get double what I would usually read. Yeah, my mistake. Hey guys, it's my birthday. I'm 26 years old. It's July 29th and it is Tuesday, so these are gonna be the first gifts I open because my family's not here yet. So my friend sent me these, I'm pretty sure, because you know Amazon's always happening. So this one for airports, I went through Windsor Locks, which is at New York or Connecticut, BWI, and Raleigh Durham. So let's see what is in here. Oh, did I really get a paper cut? Okay, I see a puzzle. I know, I have to open it where I don't get my address off camera. Okay, so this is from my friend Marquise. I'll read the note out loud. May your amazing day be filled with happiness and an abundance of blessings. I can only wish for you to receive all the joy, memories, and laughs that you give us all every day. It's a lot. Yeah, I hope that's like my goal in life, is to make people smile every day. So this puzzle that is by Mud Puppy, which is my favorite puzzle brand. And oh my gosh, it like doesn't come with like tape or anything on it when you order a puzzle on Amazon. Like I could just rip the lid off, but with all these little plants on it, y'all know my plants are typically, this guy is typically in the videos, he's looking kind of rough because he didn't have AC for a while. And then this one, which I saw on, what is their channel or TikTok name? The couple, they sit at a table and do the videos. I love their videos, but this is The Road to Tender Hearts by Annie Harnett. And it's like a darkly comic, I'm like comedic, comic, and warm-hearted novel about an old man on a cross-country mission to reunite with his high school crush, bringing together his adult daughter, 2 orphaned kids, and a cat who can predict death. Crazy. So we got that one. So thank you, Marquise, for that. Now, it seems like there are 2. This package went through Richmond and Raleigh. Let's open it up. So I think it's going to be the same note by how the other one was worded. But let's see. Okay, I see a book and I see notes. Okay, I'm not going to look at this yet. Oh my god. I know, my family would be here right time I get a book with this title, but History, A Rollicking Journey Through Our Sexual Past, Present, and Future by Esme Louise James. This one is going to be so great for my historical research because just sometimes I wonder what it was like back then, because everything you see on TV is fake. And just like this kind of history of the world, which we have kind of got in the Chalice and the Blade, and I did get a paper cut, but this one is going to be really funny. And as I said, I'm curious, and it has Julius Caesar mentioned, and y'all know we love Julius. So these are my birthday gifts so far, a puzzle and 2 books. I am doing my haul later today. Oh, and was the note the same to make sure? Okay, time gives up and downs, but you list with only to bring a marvel, light, and a gift whom I will always appreciate, never to be taken for granted. Sidebar, I know this book, and then it looks like the crying emoji. The reviews are positive. So those are my birthday gifts so far. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna film the rest of this, so I just wanted to open my gifts while I wait for my family, and it sounds like they've got here. Hey everybody, I know I have to kind of like duck down so y'all can see my tiara because I'm a queen. But I just got some gifts from my cousin, and I had already filmed my haul for Tuesday, so I wanted to show them here because they're so special. And this candle just made everything smell so good, so I guess I'll show the candle first. Like, this smells like a hotel, and it's so good. So this is the sun-drenched linen, fresh linen, crisp apple, soft musk candle from Bath & Body Works, from their White Barn line. And I don't know if I've had this in another thing before. I feel like I had it on like a wall, like the plug-in, but oh my gosh, this literally, it's so like such a clean smell. Like, it smells just like linens. Like, I do not know how they did this. I do not know how Bath & Body Works did that, because it smells just like it. That's incredible. So then she got me this bookmark that is so fitting, because I don't know how well y'all can see him because he's laying down, but Fred is here. And this is the perfect bookmark. And I wanted to wait to take it out of the packaging because, you know, I wanted to show it on video. And it is just a little cat. Is it a magnetic one maybe? Or is it a clip-on? I'm not sure, but I will find out how to use it because it does have a thing on the back that shows you. But it's the Luna, Spoofy Luna, which I do love the name Luna. But this kitty bookmark, I don't know, I have 2 black cats, so like, I absolutely love that. And then this, I'm not really sure what this is. So sponge gel beyond cleansing beach grass. So this is cleansing. Oh, okay, so it's like a little sponge. Okay, I'm not gonna take it out of the plastic thing right now. So yes, ribbon can be unsnapped to hang the okay, so yeah, it's a sponge, and it's a beach one that is cleanse, exfoliate, massage, and nourish. So it's infused with butter. So yeah, that sounds like it's amazing for your skin. It's made in the USA, vegan, cruelty free, you know, all the good stuff. Like, it's really soft. Like, it's like, you know, stiff like you need, but it's really like squishy. I'm having fun with that. And then this is like the really special one. So this dog was made from one of my mom's dresses, and like, look at it, it's so cute. It's just so cute. And then with the special meaning, it's the little ears. So like, that is just so special. Like, how do you compare to that? But yes, so all of this, like, hold on, did this have a scent to it? Yeah, there's a scent to that. So it smells so good. But yeah, so all these gifts I think are like perfect for me. So again, thank you to everybody who's gotten me gifts in this, because I mean, and thank you to just people who have told me happy birthday in general. Oh, and she got me a card as well. But yeah, if you've sent a card, anything, like, thank y'all so much, because it honestly just means the absolute world to me. And this is so much fun wearing this in my head. Yeah, so thank you so much to everybody, and to my cousin for giving me all of this. Fred, he seems to approve. But I'll check in with you guys later. And there's my crown. And we've gotten even more mail. My dad even got mail this time. So I put my dog up there. I think y'all can see her. Move some things around. So let me show y'all what I got in the mail. So one I got myself, and then one, Marquise got me another book, and he doesn't let me buy him anything. This is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, because I've tried to get him to read, oh sorry Fred, I've tried to get him to read book club. Has he? I don't know, but I do think Emily Henry would make a good book club pick in a while. He's in our book club, so if you guys like want to join the book club, it's only linked down below, which I need to fix the description of the videos because I change it every year on my birthday. So this one, he said, happy birthday to you. One last gift on your special day. So yes, thank you so much. I already like texted him saying thank you. So I actually, yeah, there's so, Emily, like the romance authors pump out these books. So I'm not remembering which one this is about, or what couple I mean. So Alice Scott is an eternal optimist, still dreaming of her big writing break. Oh, same. No. Hayden Anderson is a Pulitzer Prize winning human thundercloud, and they're both on balmy Little Crescent Island for the same reason. Yeah, okay, this is the one that I am like so excited for this. I know my bangs are going crazy, but to write the biography of a woman no one has seen in years, or at least to meet with the octogenarian who claims to be the Margaret Ives, tragic heiress, former tabloid princess, and daughter of one of the most storied and scandalous families of the 20th century. Yeah, tell me no more. I do not need to read the rest of that description. Like, and Marquise, I think you would really like this just by that plot. So maybe it will be a future book club pick, and oh my gosh, these bangs are crazy. So I don't think it will be next year's, but you never know. And then this one is one that I got myself that it wasn't supposed to get here till August, but this is, again, with rich famous people. Like, I love that. And this one is Sunstruck by William Raffet Hunter. Oh, I thought that was sprayed edges at first, and I was gonna be shook. This is a thriller, and it's a dazzling, poignant exploration of race, status, and the parts of ourselves we risk losing when we fall in love. Trust me, it's like such like, I see that so often happen with other people. Okay, we're not gonna get into that spill though. So this is like in the south of France, luxurious mansions. But yeah, the south of France. Thanks, F1, kind of intrigued by that. And I saw so many people, like not people I know personally, but people who were like vacationing at Saint Tropez, is that what it's called, this summer, like literally in like the last 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought that was like a really, really bougie place, but like everybody's going there, so maybe like it's not. But yeah, books, gifts, we love them. Do I need to go on my thank you spill again? First, I would like to thank not only God, but Jesus as well. No, I was like, do y'all remember when Justin Bieber said something like that and everybody was like making fun of him? It was at like the Grammys or something. Yeah, but I need to, Delilah's about to go on her last outing of the day, but we did have a nice thunderstorm as well, so I had to read to her. And I was reading about the world being overpopulated. I'm like, this is probably stressing her out even more. But it did make her stop huffing and puffing. So yeah, it's only 86 now, which I know to a lot of people that is like very warm. And typically I like for her to be out 85 and below. So it is getting to that. So because there is a heat advisory, that's why I mention all this. But I need to make sure it's not going to thunderstorm again because, I mean, she's scared of thunder. And who's having their dog out in a thunderstorm? So I am gonna have her head out in a little bit because just to have that, she likes going out at the nighttime where it's not, you know, 107 degrees. But it's supposed to rain every single day this week. And yeah, we're going to the beach tomorrow. I have to pick up death certificates. They had the rest printed out. Like, it takes an extended amount of time for you to get all of them. And then I have to go to the post office to hopefully get the things sorted. Because I need a key for the mailbox. And like, they wouldn't give it to me last time, even though the website said I had everything that I needed. But like, when I went there, they were like, no. So hopefully this time around, I do have, they'll let me. Yeah, so that's what we're going to Myrtle Beach tomorrow. Don't know if I'm gonna eat down there or do anything, you know, fun and exciting. But then Friday I have fun stuff to do because Starbucks has the raspberry bag. I have finished the Chalice and the Blade, and I am gonna be giving this a 4-star. I loved it. It was so eye-opening, and it was like a light bulb moment where so many of these thoughts that I've had have essentially been confirmed, and that my beliefs, like, I just feel stronger in my beliefs knowing that, hey, this is a real thing. This is it, you know, like with my beliefs with religion and society and everything, just getting confirmation in those beliefs that other people believe the same things, and that to me it just all confirms that what I believe is true, like with Christianity, with history of, yeah, it's just really amazing. So why would I not give this a full 5-star? When you start the book, you go into like a 25-page introduction, 26 pages to be exact, and you're getting a lot of information thrown at you of what basically each chapter in this book's going to be about. And I was like, whoa, this is a lot to take in. It was a lot, and I felt like just a lot of stuff was being thrown at me, and some of it was going over my head, some of it I was catching, you know, and it was just, a lot to take in. And as I said, just a lot of it went over my head, and I would really recommend that you guys read this on the Kindle, because there are going to be terms, or at least be taking notes maybe, of what certain terms might mean, because this book did introduce a lot of new terms to history, to feminism and all of that. So definitely do the Kindle, or be taking notes along with what you are reading. And I also, how I was like, this was published in 1987, and I was like, oh my gosh, so much has changed since then. The author did do an updated epilogue, again, not in this version that I have, but in the Kindle version. She did an update in April of 2017, and I'm just like, yes. And of course she felt the same way I felt, and I was just like, thank God that she sees this cycle that we're going in. I learned that history goes in cycles, that we are, as people, supposed to be egalitarian. We are supposed to be equal. There's not supposed to be one person or one group of people that is on top of things. That is not how we were intended to be made. And that there's a lot of symbolism in mythology and religion. I'm going to talk about the Garden of Eden. We look back at that as being this perfect, this paradise, this place, and how that could be symbolism for a society that was, where everything was equal, everybody was equal, there wasn't war. I'm not going to say it was perfect. No, they did have their issues. Things were not perfect. That is an impossible thing, to be perfect. So, and that, you know, in the Garden of Eden, things did hit the fan. And so that is how humanity was supposed to be. Then go a few thousand years ago, we had these outside groups come in, and I think it only shows that there's only going to be those people, disgruntled people at the outskirts of society, who are going to seek and destroy, to quote Metallica, and that is what they did. And we still see people like that to this day. But they came in and asserted violence, and that is what they're like, the rest of the humans were like, we gotta fight violence with violence. And that's what led to a society that really does not focus on partnership, but focuses on dominating and trying to be the top dog, you know. And usually that is a male. That is usually a male-dominated society, pushing women aside. So it was all just incredibly fascinating. And I know my thoughts, I feel like I'm not getting everything in that I want to say, so be sure to check out my written review as well. But yes, I would definitely recommend this book. Very eye-opening, and just gives you a new idea of how history is written, and what gets tossed aside, what gets to go in those history books, history textbooks, what is taught in schools. Really intriguing. Yeah, so yes, I do recommend the Chalice and the Blade. And I have now finished my July TBR. Good for me. Hey guys, it is, what day? Wednesday. I did go to Target today. I didn't get anything cool. I just got groceries. But I did go to Goodwill as well when I was at the beach, because there just wasn't anything major that I wanted to do, because it was like pouring down rain. I do really want to get to the Disney store because their Halloween stuff dropped on Monday, but that is at an outlet, so you have to like walk in the rain, and I didn't want to do that. Also, I kind of like, I want to go to the mall and walk the mall one day, but again, today just was not the day to do that. So I just went to the funeral home to get death certificates. I went to the post office to get a key for the post box, whatever. Then I went to the UPS store to check that mailbox. Then I went to the bathroom at Food Lion, and then I went by the condo, and then then I went to Goodwill. So this is what I got at Goodwill. Healing the inner child. No, I don't think my inner child needs healing. Like, my teenage self is probably the one that needs healing. And I think I have done that, because like when I hit middle school, I was like, you know, I was still playing Webkins, I was playing Club Penguin, I had dolls, I was still buying dolls like my first few months of middle school, and I was like, oh, that's not cool, that's not what the cool girls are doing. So, you know, I pushed all that aside. I gave away a lot of my weapons. That's the vacuum in there, by the way. So it's like my tween self, but now I'm like, I get to buy weapons when I see them at Goodwill, occasionally buy them on eBay, so, you know, that has been healed, and we love that. So just some books from my childhood that I think will make me feel something. And the first one's Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCamillo. I more so remember the movie for this, and I'm seeing if there is one of them had a name in it. So I don't know if I read the book or not. I would think I read the book, but I don't remember. So we picked that up. Then this one, there is a HBO, I think it's HBO, might be Hulu show for this book. And I, you know, have just never got around to buying it. And I've never seen it without the like movie or TV show tie-in cover. And yes, HBO. So this is Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. Don't even, a murder or tragic accident, or just parents behaving badly. What's indisputable is that someone is dead. So I didn't even know what it was about really. Then this one I saw at Barnes & Noble a few months ago and, you know, made note of it but didn't buy it. So now I've bought it. And that's Under the Tuscan Sun by Frances May. I love Tuscany, and if a book takes place there, there's a good chance I'm gonna get it. So there's a subreddit that is give me a book that fits this vibe, and people like put pictures. So I did one that was like nostalgic Christmas movies. I did this, you know, back then, not recently. And this is one that kept coming up, and I saw it today, so I bought it. And that is Kringle by Tony Abbott, the epic story of a lone boy destined to become a legend throughout the ages. So I don't know, is that who becomes Santa Claus or something? I don't know. But then we have Black Beauty by Anna Sewell, which I do know. I have read this one. I actually have a nice like picture book version from the 50s. This one is a chapter book version. And here's one when I told my dad about it, he was like, nope, don't bring that book up to me again, because he saw this in theaters back in like in the 60s with his cousin. And this is Old Yeller by Fred Gibson. So that'll break your heart. Then this is a notable book of the year, but I have read another book by this author, and that is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ning. That book. And this one, I have no idea what it's about, but auto by author, and that is The Storyteller by Jodi Picoult. So we get that one. And another auto by author from the author I'm reading from at the moment. I love the picture. It's The Hammer of Eden by Ken Follett, which is more of like a suspense thriller when I've only read his historical fiction. I do own some of his like more thrillers. The ones I own tend to be like more like historical thrillers, so I don't know if this one is in that same vein. But I did want to show y'all what I got at Goodwill. I'm going to now write down the books that I've got and then log them all into Goodreads on my phone. But yeah, there is my update. I didn't run into the ocean today to let y'all know, also because it was lightning and all of that. I do not want to get struck by lightning, but I kind of liked seeing all the rain. I know it might sound crazy, but you know, it's been so dry here. It's not really focusing on the book. It looks kind of shiny, but that's Edge of Eternity right there. So I'm still going to read more today, but that will be when I'm in bed, you know. So I'm going to do my update now, because I have read the majority of what I will be reading today. So like our big event today was the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. and we're still seeing like the, you know, the consequences or whatever from that, of what that is causing. So that is what's going on right now. But the thing that like interested me the most today, so we're in 1968, which is an election year. So we are seeing the primaries, the Democratic primaries are happening, and our main people, so first is like Gene McCarthy. That's what they call him in here, but his real name apparently is Eugene, which I mean, that makes sense. He is kind of equivalent. My friend made the comparison to Bernie Sanders, and I think that is a great comparison. So where he, you know, doesn't do well when the time comes, you know, and that a lot of his voters are young, very left-leaning people, but he can't really make that translation into the average, you know, everyday American citizen. So he's one of our candidates. Then we have Bobby Kennedy, RFK. So he has more of that like diverse group of people who are behind him, not just young white people. He has black people. He has the average everyday working class American, and then we do see some young people who are going after him as well. Now at this whole time we have President Lyndon B. Johnson, and people are like, you know, it makes sense that he would run for re-election. He's pro-war when the others want to get us out of Vietnam. So we're having all these Democrats. I'm like, which is funny because at the end of the day, it is not a Democrat who wins this election. Richard Nixon is the one who wins the election, who is also pro-war. Yeah, so I find that really intriguing that we're getting all this focus on all these Democratic candidates rather than Republican ones, knowing how this election is going to play out. But and then I learned all those people I listed, none of them will actually be the Democrats candidate when the time comes, you know, when it's the two parties that you have to vote. And this was, okay, you can listen to this stat though. So Humphrey, who was LBJ's vice president, was the last Democrat candidate who became the nominee without having votes in the primary. Kamala Harris, that was the same thing happened to her this time around in the 2024 election. So I thought that was kind of interesting that is how Humphrey became the candidate. I'm not exactly sure how it all adds up to that because I didn't want spoilers for the book, but very interesting stuff there, seeing how history repeats itself. And how history really is just a cycle, which is something that I am learning this week in my reading. But that's my update for Edge of Eternity for the day. As I said, I'm going to read a little bit more today, and I'm sure that a lot of that is going to be just the effects and impacts that the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. had on the nation and on the world. We're currently in Czechoslovakia in our book, back with Dimka, who is one of our Russian characters, who is very close with the premier of Russia, or with the USSR. So that is what's currently happening. We're seeing some countries wanting to leave the USSR. Ukraine, and as I said, Czechoslovakia is trying to go back to the roots of communism rather than what it has become. So at this time, not right now. So that's my update for Wednesday. I hope you guys had a happy Thursday. So as we talked about, when it rains, it pours. So today Penny was throwing up and then had diarrhea. I don't want to embarrass her. So we took her to the vet, and it was just like nothing on the blood work was like bad. So she was dehydrated, so they, you know, gave her fluids and all that, and she's good now, but she is on medication and all. But yeah, when you have a 16-year-old dog, I get scared every time something is out of the ordinary. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. But no, we are good. And like, she started acting normal when we were at the vet. But yeah, so, you know, just the anxiety has to be like one thing after the other, one thing after the other. So hopefully things start to chill out. I know we're in Mercury in retrograde right now, but this has been going on since, what, April? And so again, you just have to keep your head high, knowing that everything in life is temporary, and it will all go away soon. But one good thing, this is super cute. So I got this book on eBay. It's coming to us from Denver, North Carolina, and again on eBay. And look how cute this was packaged. Like, oh my gosh, like, I was shocked. Like, it reminds me of this like blind date with a book. So I'm going to open it here with y'all because this is just so cute. And if there is a link to this person's shop, I will, hold on, go get my scissors. If I can get a link to their shop, I will definitely link them below, because how cute is this? So there was that. And oh my gosh, this is like heavy. This little thank you note, like it's like raised. That is so cool. And okay, it has the little my receipt inside, but it looks like she wrote something on it. So it has her name. It doesn't say a shop name. But Mary Ellen, thank you, Mary Ellen. So Elizabeth, thank you so much for your purchase, and I hope you enjoyed the book. I want you to know that I truly appreciate this. I'll take care, Mary Ellen. Oh my gosh, thank you, Mary Ellen. That is so sweet, and how you package this, so sweet. So there was a little note, and then let's get into the book. Again, just, I love to see people put all this dedication into what they do and doing it for others, you know. We love that. So this is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, and this is a novel told in verse, which I love. So that's why I was really drawn to this. So this is a National Book Award winner, and I think it might even be, yeah, young adult. So this one the Michael L. Prince Award for Excellence in Young Adult Literature, and then the Pura Belpré Award. I'm not sure what these two are, but that's 3 awards on this book. That's amazing. So Xiomara Batista feels unheard, unable to hide in her Harlem neighborhood. Ever since her body grew into curves, she has learned to let her fist and her fierceness do the talking. So when she is invited to join her school's slam poetry club, she knows that she could never get around Mommy's rules to attend, much less speak her words out loud. But still, she can't stop thinking about performing her poems, because in spite of a world that may not want to hear her, Xiomara refuses to be silent. Yeah, I definitely think a lot of young people will be able to relate to that, and obviously that's great when you can relate to something. What did I watch or read that I related to so strongly the other day? Well, there was the Chalice and The Blade. And it just makes you feel so seen and everything. So we love that young people can find books that they relate to. So I just wanted to show that book because of how well packaged that was. Honestly, yeah, check out Mary Ellen on eBay. I am such a nervous wreck right now to wrap up the vlog because I'm here by myself. So Penny, you know, is sick and you're gonna hear the whining. So I can't let Delilah in here because I don't want Delilah disturbing Penny. But Delilah is terrified of the thunderstorm, and like I don't want to have Penny out of my sight. But I can't have Delilah just being terrified. So I'm in the hallway, like when I was reading in the hallway with the door shut just so I could, you know, open every now and then to peek in on Penny. And I'm just like, this is too much, but you know, it's the cards I've been dealt and have to handle, you know. So with Edge of Eternity, today we had a lot of really seeing how rough and tough the Stasi are. The Earl Fitzherbert even says that the Stasi are, the KGB is a softer version of the Stasi, and I had never heard about the Stasi until I read this series, so that's, you know, kind of crazy. And I'm sorry, the dog whining, I'm like stressed out not being there right there with her, but I had to finish the vlog, you know. So that has been my main takeaway today, and I'm sorry that I'm anxious, don't know what to tell you about what I'm reading. Yeah, so there's just a lot that is going on with just Richard Nixon has been introduced to the story, and that's something with Ronald Reagan is currently governor of California in 1968. I never really put 2 and 2 together that Ronald Reagan was governor of California during the Flower Power, hippies, Manson murders. Like, I never put the 2 and 2 together like that. So that is just kind of like mind-blowing to me that he was the governor. But okay, it sounds like she got out of her collar because I had her leash tied up. But yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm going to have to end the vlog here. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it all the way through, leave a birthday emoji in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!